Hey everyone, it's Lexie. So in today's video I'll be sharing with you all the books that I ended up reading in the month of August. So August was a crazy month for me. I had my big PhD exams, which 3 of them were super easy and then 2 of them I'm not too sure about, but it was just very stressful and I literally spent 8 months studying for these exams, so I didn't read as much as I have over the past few months just with how busy I've been. And then after my exams, sorry, losing my voice, but after my exams, like, I was super lethargic. I didn't have any reading, like I didn't read for quite a while, so I feel like I'm in a bit of a reading slump, but this last book that I was reading kind of helped me get out of it. So I'll quickly, I think this will be a pretty quick wrap up because these were rereads for me, so I already kind of knew what was going on with these, but for 2 of them I completely forgot what happened and all that, so let's just go ahead and jump into it. So in anticipation for Troubled Blood coming out on September 15th, I wanted to reread the Cormoran Strike series by J.K. Rowling, and this time around I was going to take notes, so then once the new one comes out, like in, you know, a couple years from now, I'll kind of have my notes where I can quickly kind of recap what happened. So that was my goal this time with rereading it. So first I read the Cuckoos Calling. I think this is my least favorite out of this series so far, and I remembered this one. I remember who was the killer, and this one, like, out of the other two, like the other two I didn't remember, but I remembered who the killer was in here, so it was interesting reading it from that perspective. But it follows, like, in general this series follows Cormoran Strike, who is a former veteran who is an amputee, and he becomes a private detective. So in this case he's approached by a brother of a very famous model who a couple months ago was believed to have committed suicide. She jumped off the balcony and committed suicide supposedly, and the brother of this model approaches Cormoran, basically saying that he doesn't think his sister committed suicide, he thinks it was foul play or murder. So that kind of goes off from there, and then we also get introduced to Robin, who starts out as Cormoran's receptionist but also has a bigger role as the series progresses. But this, like I said, this one is my least favorite out of the series. I think also too because I kind of remembered this one the most. But I also, one of my biggest complaints in here is that Robin had, I forgot how small of a role Robin had, especially in this one. Like, she has very little page time, which is another big complaint, because I think what I enjoy most about this series is the relationship between Strike and Robin, which this one is very minimal in this one. So this one was kind of like my least favorite, so I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I still enjoyed it, but it wasn't, you know, it's not my favorite of the series. So next I ended up picking up the second book in the Cormoran Strike series, which is the Silkworm. This is the one that I remembered the least about. I remembered it involved a author and all that. So basically the premise of this one is that Strike gets approached by this wife of a author who has gone missing, and the police don't really think he, you know, is really missing. He's just basically, he goes for spouts where he's like, goes on like a writer's retreat and goes missing for a couple weeks, which is like the norm, and so the police are like not too worried about it, but the wife is concerned. So Strike kind of investigates, you know, what's going on. I liked this one because, again, we get to see more development of Cormoran and Robin's relationship in here. Robin definitely plays a bigger role, and I also like how it talks about the publishing world, and I think it's very interesting just how she incorporated, you know, like the politics of the publishing world, and just like how inclusive it is in terms of like everyone knows everyone and all that. Like, it's very interesting. I totally forgot who was the killer in this one, so it was like reading it for the first time because I generally did not remember it. And like when I was reading the first one, I had a bit of an existential crisis because they talk about how Robin is 25, and I think when I first read this series I was like 20, 21, and I was like, oh, that seems so far away. And as someone who's 25 now, I was like, oh my god, like that's me now. So I had a bit of a existential crisis with my age. But this one was good. It was thrilling. This one is definitely very kind of grotesque in a sense, but definitely gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. The series does get better as it progresses, and you can tell she was definitely building up for the third one, which is by far my favorite. And so obviously, as I was talking about the third one, I also picked up Career of Evil, which is me and my sister's favorite out of this series so far. Like, just the development of Robin's and Strike's relationship in here is so good. So basically the premise of this one is that Robin is sent a leg in the mail, and Cormoran thinks it's someone from his past that is kind of coming out to get him, and it has attacked Robin because of that. So it kind of progresses from there. But this is definitely my favorite of the series, and like I said, my sister agrees with this as well, and from what I've gathered from you guys, this one is like the best one in the series. So I feel like this kind of helped get me out of my sorry, Tucker is looking at me, so it's okay. But this kind of helped me get out of a reading slump, because I felt so lethargic after I had my exams and all that. So this one definitely helped get me out of that reading slump, because I was just so exhausted by it, and just it kind of helped me kind of fall back into reading, because I was so, like I said, so lethargic, just not wanting to read at all. So I'm definitely gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. Like, this one was amazing. I remember reading this when it came out, and I was just blown away by it. So like I said, this one is super good, and I just can't wait for the new one coming out in September. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick wrap up. Hopefully my reading will get a little bit better in September. Like I said, it was just like, I was just super lethargic. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what books you've read this month and all that fun stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.